You never see this happen. As underrated and unappreciated star, Derrick White is excelling for this Celtics squad this year, but leading in a category that is absolute blasphemous. The 6'4 guard is dominating in blocks this year, and we have a stat to show you that he's outperforming some of the league's best centers at that stat. All of that and more on this episode of Celtics Digest. I'm Bruce Veliz, and without further ado, let's dive in. Let's get into all of this Celtics info. Make sure to grab a snack. It is going to be a jam-packed episode. But before we dive in and explore all this Derrick White news, we have some other little tidbits to discuss. First, we'll be talking about Grant Williams possibly receiving some disrespect. And I saw this on the Celtics Reddit here this morning, talking about Grant Williams, the ex-Boston Celtics, has now been flourishing in Charlotte. Apparently had some disrespect with possibly some of the Celtics. So on this here, we can see that Grant Williams got called a loser by a Celtics assistant coach, and it says, I'm sure a lot of you listened to the Bill Simmons pod during the one that he released on Sunday with Ryan Russillo. He mentions that an assistant coach, quote, tweeted Grant Williams and called him a loser. Does anyone know which coach did this? I completely missed it when this happened, and I'm curious. I say all of this as a huge Grant Williams fan, and I know he's had a rough year, especially with the Mavs taking shots at him after he got traded. He can definitely be dorky, but I genuinely miss him on the seas. Now, I want to clarify and say that I do not believe that it was a Celtics assistant coach, but I do believe it was a Dallas assistant coach. As he mentioned, Dallas was giving a lot of beef to Grant Williams after he signed that sign and trade contract over the summer, and it just wasn't because I think it was a fit that didn't work out. Now, I don't believe that any Celtics coach or anybody from the Celtics media did do this, but if they did, that is very rude because Grant Williams, ever since he's found his new home in Charlotte, has been excelling for this squad, and I'm glad that he finally found a role that works for him. We want to look at Grant Williams' stats and totals, as you guys can see. Starting off with the Celtics, average around 3 points, 4 points, 7 points, 8 points. But this year, so far with the Charlotte Hornets, he's played in 10 total games, averaging 29 minutes, but averaging close to 15 points, 14 total points, with 2.2 assists, 5.8 total rebounds, and shooting at a pretty decent clip as well, shooting around 2 threes per game, hitting around 37%, close to that 40%, and that is actually pretty solid for a guy in Grant Williams as well. Obviously, Charlotte is giving him some more experienced run with their injuries and their younger lineups, so a guy like Grant Williams can kind of be like a nice culture fit, and he is from the area of Charlotte as well, so that's nice to be playing for your hometown city. Let me know what you guys think about Grant Williams. Let me know how you guys think he's been playing with the Hornets. I know he had a rough start to the season with the Dallas Mavericks, but he's truly been excelling with this Charlotte Hornets squad since he's been given some real run with the team. Next, we're going to be diving in and talking about some Celtics being honored this week and month, and one Celtic that was absolutely disrespected. Now, if you guys missed this, check out the community page as we broke it down. If you guys want to subscribe and be up to date on everything that happens with the Celtics, we post in the community as well. Let us know your thoughts and opinions on those posts along with these videos. But as you guys can see, we mentioned this yesterday, Dallas Mavericks guard Luka Doncic and Boston Celtics forward Jayson Tatum have been named KIA NBA Western and Eastern Conference Players of the Month. Jayson Tatum putting up phenomenal stats this month, averaging 27 total points, 8.9 rebounds, and 6.7 assists. This just pushes his narrative of making that MVP case a little bit stronger, showing he can clearly dominate. He's already won 2 Player of the Months for the Eastern Conference already this year, and it just clearly shows that Jayson Tatum is leading one of the best teams, but also can put up the stats to combat that. I know a lot of people are like, oh, you take him away, he's not that valuable. Oh, the Celtics will still win if you take away Jayson Tatum. Versus the Warriors, he barely scored. But guys, Jayson Tatum is still that killer, and he does help out the Boston Celtics when they desperately need him. By the fact that he's leading this team as well, clearly shows of how impactful he is to this squad. We also want to dive in looking at how Jaylen Brown, the guy who's been disrespected by the national media all season long, has proven everybody wrong as he wins the Player of the Week for this week, averaging 28 points, 5 rebounds, and shooting 62% from the field. Jaylen Brown has been on an absolute tear. If you missed it in our last video, we broke it down, but we had a tweet from Dan Greenberg yesterday how Jaylen Brown post All-Star break in his 5 games is averaging around 20 points, shooting 62% from the field and 60% from 3, which is absolutely ridiculous. He's also averaging at least 18 points in the first half of the Celtics games post All-Star break, and he's one of the best first half and first quarter scorers in total throughout the whole entire NBA. There's where you have to give your praise to Jaylen Brown. That's where you have to recognize and see that this tandem of him with Kristaps Porzingis, even without Kristaps Porzingis in that game versus the Warriors, we saw that he can control the game on his own with his own speed, and that's why he needs to be part of this Celtics culture. If the threes aren't falling, the threes aren't the wave, he needs to be attacking the rim and playing that way. But even if you disrespect him, he deserves to have his shot monitored. Let me know what you guys think about Jaylen Brown in the comment sections. And lastly, we're going to be diving in, talking about how a Celtic got disrespected. Joe Mazzulla, not named Coach of the Month, after respectively the two superstars of Jayson Tatum and Jaylen Brown were named Player of the Week and Player of the Month. And the irony of it, the two people that beat him were Steve Kerr and Erik Spoelstra. Now, obviously, Steve Kerr is on the Western Conference, so it's not really a competition, but Celtics just battered Steve Kerr, and I know that they've had a great run this month. They kind of bounced back, 10-2 in their last 12, so it made sense. But Erik Spoelstra, I get it. 8-3 team record. It's kind of brought in the Heat back from the 8th seed to the 5th seed. But Joe Mazzulla, 9-1 on the month this month, and one of those wins being the Miami Heat, clearly showing that the Celtics can handle this squad when they are ready. Kind of blasphemous, kind of out of proportion. Let me know what you guys think. I think Joe Mazzulla should have finished out that trio of making it with the other two superstars. And lastly, the stat that you guys have been wanting to hearing and been wanting to dive into is Derrick White is still an underrated player still. And like I mentioned in the introduction, Derrick White has absolutely been killing it for this Celtics squad. Absolutely being disrespected, leaving off the top 100 list of ESPN this year. He has used that as a motor to push himself to unbelievable measures this year. Competing for an all-star bid and having a bunch of, superstars, even guys like Reggie Miller, an NBA great, saying that he vowed for him to be a superstar and wanted him to be an all-star for this squad. Clearly shows how impactful Derrick White is on both sides of the ball. He is the most consistent player for this Celtics squad, and it clearly shows. We want to dive in and look at this stat here, You can see that this tweet is from Sean Grande with an overnight fun fact. Derrick White has more block shots than Giannis Antetokounmpo, Jared Allen, Derek Lively, Jonas Valanciunas, Evan Mobley, Jusuf Nurkic, Ivica Zubac, Nikola Jokic, Bam Adebayo, and Ausar Thompson. Now that is absolutely insane. You guys missed our video yesterday. We kind of dove in and explained this as well. Derrick White is averaging he has a total of 76 blocks compared to Giannis Antetokounmpo's 70, which is absolutely insane. But yeah, absolutely dominating, outblocking Giannis, Jared Allen, Derek Lively, Evan Mobley, Ivica Zubac, Bam Adebayo, Ausar Thompson. Even though Ausar Thompson's a wing, these are all defensive expert guys that are known for excelling on the defensive side of the ball. But Derrick White also isn't just dominating on the blocks and helping out the Celtics as, one of the best two-way guards in the entire NBA, but he's also helping out on the offensive side of the ball. As we can see, 15 points per game, 4 total rebounds, 5 assists, shooting 47% from the field, a total of 2% better than his career, shooting 41% from 3, which is a total of 4% better than his career, which just proves to show you that his shooting numbers are getting better. He's helping out the Celtics in the clutch when they desperately need them. We broke down a stat yesterday and that video. If you guys missed that video yesterday, check that one out. That one dives in talking about how clutch and how impactful Derrick White is for the Celtics team. We've talked about it and we've mentioned it before. In the fourth quarter, Derrick White can heat up going 5 for 7 from 3, and we saw that versus the New Orleans Pelicans just a month ago. He truly is, this secret piece for the Celtics. And even though I believe Kristaps Porzingis is the X factor, the guy that, has turned this team into this new mold, I do believe the success and the underappreciation of Derrick White and how he's had to humbly push himself to keep clawing and keep fighting through this starting lineup and keep pushing himself and proving all the haters wrong has truly proved that he is a dynamic piece for the Celtics squad, and he is our secret weapon. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below, breaking down all of this news, talking about Derrick White, talking about Joe Mazzulla being snubbed of Coach of the Month this month as well, and even some of the Grant Williams news as well. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. If you guys do not know, we have live streams now, which we do post-game. We'll be breaking down all of the reactions to tonight's game versus the Cleveland Cavaliers. Jaylen Brown's questionable. Kristaps Porzingis is questionable. Donovan Mitchell is a no-go for sure. So hopefully the Celtics can continue this win streak of 12 games, getting a nice road victory in Cleveland, and we'll have all of those reactions to break down here on this channel here of Celtics Digest. So if you guys are interested in that, want to give me your guys' reactions, let me know how you guys feel after tonight's game, or even if you can't make it to tonight's live stream, but in any other game, make sure to tune into those, or even check them out when they're re-uploaded. Like I mentioned, if you guys enjoy this channel, check out one of the 2 videos that are pinned up here, as you guys can enjoy those as well. Thank you guys so much for tuning into this episode of Celtics Digest. I'm Bruce Veliz, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace out.